votes in Ballari rural constituency. Sri Ramulu accepts responsibility for BJP's defeat in Ballari. Meanwhile, D.Y. Raghavendra wins by a narrow margin of 6,430 votes in Shikaripura constituency. D.Y. Raghavendra wins by a narrow margin. Well, Ganesh Hukkeri, meanwhile, is leading by over 23,000 votes at the end of the 13th round of counting in Chikkodi. The three constituencies that went to polls last Thursday, Bengaluru Rural, Shikaripura as well as Chikkodi, 2 out of the 3 constituencies have gone to Congress. Let's not forget that before the seats were given up by its respective elected representatives, 2 out of the 3 seats were in the grasp of the BJP. Sri Ramulu had given up Ballari Rural, whereas B.S. Yediyurappa had given up Shimoga, and Prakash Hukkeri had given up the Chikkodi constituency. While in Chikkodi, it is Prakash Hukkeri's son Ganesh Hukkeri himself who is in the lead with a comfortable majority of votes of around 23,000 at this point in time. On the other hand, it seems like Congress has managed to wrest the BJP fortress of Ballari Rural from the Saffron Party. This comes just about 3 months after a Modi wave of sorts had engulfed the entire nation, including the state of Karnataka. Relatively, of course, Congress's performance was better in Karnataka thanks to the state government being in place, but the Modi wave and the BJP wave had threatened the Congress to no extent, and we could see. In fact, this is the scenes being witnessed at the KPCC office, as it is a result better than what the Congress would have probably expected. They have narrowed down the margin in Shikaripura, whereas in Ballari they have managed to take away the seat. KPCC President G. Parameshwar being felicitated there by supporters who have come in shouting slogans. It seems absolute joyous celebrations in Congress, quite in contrast to what had happened just 3 months back when the Lok Sabha results had come out, when it was an absolute loss of face for the Congress, thanks to the fact that despite the state government being in place, it was just 9 seats that they could manage to win in the Lok Sabha elections. But now, by taking away the Ballari Rural from the BJP, the Congress has gone on to prove a point here. We can see Congress leaders, KPCC President G. Parameshwar, Rizwan Arshad, who had contested from the Bangalore Central constituency in the Lok Sabha elections but had not managed to emerge victorious. Several other Congress leaders present there, happy faces, quite in contrast to what we had seen a few months back. Well, D.K. Shivakumar was given the responsibility for the campaigning in Ballari rural constituency. And D.K. Shivakumar's magic seems to have worked, as by over 33,000 votes, the Congress has won the constituency of Ballari Rural. These are the scenes being witnessed as supporters of the Congress have gathered on the streets, rejoicing the victory, as this has managed to save some amount of face, has salvaged some amount of pride of the Congress after the humiliation that they suffered in the Lok Sabha elections that went by. It was a major litmus test for Siddaramaiah, and he had put all his leaders on duty. And of course, Ballari was given to D.K. Shivakumar, a responsibility that D.K. Shivakumar had to fulfill, and he has once again gone on to prove himself. Meanwhile, these are the scenes being witnessed in Shikaripura constituency in the Shimoga region, as Renuka Acharya, the former excise minister who also campaigned for B.Y. Raghavendra, is being congratulated for the victory of B.S. Yediyurappa's son. Of course, it has been a victory with a very, very slender margin, and it comes in the backdrop of the Congress and the JDS joining forces to avoid division of votes, and B.Y. Raghavendra wins by a narrow margin. Of course, it was almost consistent at around 3,000 votes margin, and he managed to end up with a margin of around 6,500 votes, which is not at all big in an assembly constituency, but B.S. Yediyurappa has managed to save face for the BJP. His son has managed to emerge victorious. Of course, a volley of BJP leaders had campaigned for B.Y. Raghavendra, and the supporter is absolutely ecstatic there. My colleague Harish joins us with more details on this. Well, Harish, quite surprising turn of events there. While on one hand, Ballari Rural has gone to the Congress. On the other hand, in Shikaripura, the margin reduced to as much as 6,500.
Well, perhaps the biggest takeaway from this election is that the state electorate has voted in two ways. They have voted differently in the Lok Sabha election. They have voted differently in a assembly election over here, in a by-election, somewhere showing the maturity of voters that wasn't seen in a lot of elections that we have seen. We've seen people voting for a government that's in the center at a time, especially when several of these psephologists and experts believe that many of these by-elections happening across the country will see advantage BJP situation, just because that BJP was voted to power with a very good majority in the Lok Sabha election. But that seems to be wrong in the case of Karnataka. We've almost got results of three by-election constituencies. Bellary and Shikaripura, you have got results. Chikkodi Sadalga, we have a solid lead or solid lead details that we have got.
Right. Stay with us, Harish. We'll come back to you.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆಗಳು 3 ಉಪಚುನಾವಣೆ, 3 ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರವೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದರದ್ದೇ ಆದ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇದೆ. ಚಿಕ್ಕೋಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥ ಹೆಸರಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ರಾಜಕಾರಣಿಗಳು ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ನಡೆದಂಥ ಲೋಕಸಭೆ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇ ಚಿಕ್ಕೋಡಿಯ ವಿಧಾನಸಭಾ ಉಪಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ 70,000 ಲೀಡಿತ್ತು. ಈ ಬಾರಿ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಾಜಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಮಂಗಳ ಹಾಡಿ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೀ 10,000 ಓಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪರಾಭವ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಆದರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕಳೆದ ಬಾರಿ 70,000 ಲೀಡ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರು ಇದೊಂದೇ ವಿಧಾನಸಭಾ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದು 10,000ಕ್ಕೆ ಇಳಿದಿದೆ. ಇದು ಒಂದು. ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ಸುಷ್ಮಾ ಸ್ವರಾಜ್ ಲೋಕಸಭೆ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸುಷ್ಮಾ ಸ್ವರಾಜ್ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಓಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಶ್ರೀರಾಮುಲು ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮುಲು ಹೆಸರು ಓಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಶ್ರೀರಾಮುಲು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋದ ನಂತರ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ನಡೆದಂಥ ಉಪಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಓಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಶಿಕಾರಿಪುರ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಶಿಕಾರಿಪುರ ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪನವ್ರ ಶಕ್ತಿನೂ ಇದೆ, ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಶಕ್ತಿನೂ ಇದೆ, ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಇದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ವತಃ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು 2 ದಿನ ಬಂದು ಶಿಕಾರಿಪುರಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿದ್ರು. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಸಚಿವ ಸಂಪುಟವೇ ಶಿಕಾರಿಪುರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬ ಸಚಿವರು ಅವರವ್ರ ಜಾತಿದೇ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ದುಡ್ಡಿಗೆ ಲೆಕ್ಕನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಧಿಕಾರದ ದುರುಪಯೋಗ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಇಷ್ಟಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ
Right, Harish, now coming back to you, speaking of Shikaripura, K.S. Ishwarappa went on to state that the BJP has once again managed to establish its dominance, but at what cost? 6,500 votes. And once again, can we attribute this to the fact that the Congress and the JDS managed to put up a united front against the BJP, and hence there was no division of votes?
Yes, as you rightly mentioned, there was hectic backroom lobbying happening in Shikaripura, especially with these Congress leaders meeting Madhu Bangarap and other JDS leaders in Shikaripura, demanding support. And also the fact that JDS did not put up a candidate meant that there was no division of votes between Congress and JDS, especially that vote against BJP was not divided, Nishita.
Absolutely right.